This year's championship might be the strongest it's ever been, and whilst all 24 teams would be perfect for a road to glory in this year's career mode, here are my personal 5 favourite teams to start with. We'll start with a side who are perfect for an RTG if you're looking for a club desperate for stability, which is 3.5-star West Bromwich Albion. The Baggies have been yo-yoing between the Premier League and Championship for most of the past 2 decades, but now find themselves in the second tier for their 3rd year in a row. The team, however, is quite solid, and with a strong budget of over 17 million in your first season, you've got plenty of money to work with right from the get-go. My recommendation is to look for good young talents in England, whilst also hiring the very best youth scouts you can and setting up an elite scouting network, and send your scouts out to England, Wales due to geographical proximity, and also China due to the Chinese ownership. Playing in the Midlands, you'll have some excellent derbies to look forward to, both away and at your real home stadium, the Hawthorns, as well, with strong rivalries with both Aston Villa and Birmingham City, but also the Black Country derby against Wolverhampton Wanderers too, and also League 2 Walsall are local rivals as well. A true yo-yo team that's no stranger to promotions and relegations, and were also the first team to survive a Premier League season when being bottom at Christmas, brings some much needed calm and stability to the Hawthorns as you look to bounce the boing boing Baggies back to the top tier. The following team is the lowest rated in the Championship with the 2nd lowest transfer budget too. It's 2.5-star Plymouth Argyle, who might have won the League 1 title last season, but unlike last year's runners-up in the 3rd tier, they've gotten off to a very tough start. Affectionately known as the Pilgrims, Plymouth Argyle play at Home Park in Devon, which unfortunately isn't a real stadium in the game, but it does make them one of only 2 teams from the county playing in the Football League, alongside Exeter City, who will be your main rivals within the save. Whilst most teams in the Championship will be targeting promotion or playoffs in the first season, Plymouth are just looking for security first and foremost, and with a tiny budget of just over £3.5 million, there's not much to work with in terms of investment. My recommendation is just to look for players you can bring in on loan from Premier League sides and just hire one above average youth scout as you look for the young local talent in Devon, but also Cornwall alongside Devon in the very southwest of the country. If you're looking for a proper challenge right from the get-go with very little financial backing and no major honours to this club's name, Plymouth Argyle are perhaps the best team to use for a tough Championship RTG. The 3rd team is one for those of us who like an us against them feel to their career mode, myself included. It's 3-star Cardiff City playing in the Welsh capital itself at the Cardiff City Stadium. Just over 20 years ago, Cardiff were playing in the 4th tier of English football and their long-term future seemed precarious, but a rapid rise up the football pyramid saw them gain promotion to the Premier League back in 2013, and whilst their stay only lasted 1 year, they were able to gain promotion again in 2018, though again were also relegated the following season. Since then, however, the Bluebirds have yet to fly back into the top tier and still find themselves dreaming of getting back into the Premier League, where this season, to be fair, they do have a genuine chance. With a budget of over £10 million, you can look for some solid young talent in the first season and definitely aim to bring in some Welsh players too for that nationalist feel, whilst also hiring the very best youth scouts you can as you look for great talent from both England and Wales, as Cardiff have a strong history of bringing through good young talent through their academy, perhaps none better than their returning Welsh icon this year, Aaron Ramsey, who'll be your vice-captain in Season 1. Your main rivals will of course be Swansea City, who also play in the Championship, but look out for cup ties against Newport County and Wrexham, both playing in League 2, as you'll look to make yourself the strongest Welsh side out of the 4 in the Football League. Bring Premier League football back to the Welsh capital, and this time aim to keep it there. The penultimate team is a club who are now in their 9th consecutive year in the 2nd tier, but off to a very tough start this season, with relegation looking a fearful possibility. It's 3-star Queen's Park Rangers playing at the small yet tightly enclosed Loftus Road that makes the ground quite atmospheric. With a budget of just £7 million to work with, there's not a lot of room to manoeuvre in the transfer budget, meaning you'll mostly be restricted to loan deals in the first season, but also I recommend looking for the runoff from London Premier League teams who might not make the cut at their current club. These include Arsenal, Brentford, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Spurs, and also West Ham too, as you look for local talent who may not want to relocate from the capital. With the budget being small, I recommend just hiring one 5-star youth scout and get them scouting the nation's capital for good, young, local London talent. Being a London club means you've got a ton of city rivals, but your fiercest rivals will be in West London, where you'll contest West London derbies with 3 Premier League sides, Brentford, Chelsea and Fulham, once you get the R's back to the top tier. After manager Gareth Ainsworth was sacked just 2 days ago, there's never been a better time to use QPR for an RTG career mode. Bring stability back to this part of West London and then get them back in the top tier for the first time in nearly a decade. My final team to recommend is a club finally back on the rise after a decade of uncertainty. It's 3-star Sunderland, looking for 2 promotions in 3 years and a return to the Premier League for the first time since 2017. This team is one perfect for anyone who likes a good base of young talent to start with, featuring the likes of goalkeeper Anthony Patterson, defenders Daniel Ballard and Dennis Sherkin, midfielders Dan Neil and Jack Clark, who's really talented with good potential, and alongside a few others, Golden Boy Jude Bellingham's brother, Joe. With a budget of just over £8 million, there's not much to spend in Season 1, so my recommendation is to forego transfers and just look at picking up the very best youth scouts you can as you aim to continue Sunderland's strong history of producing young talent, including the likes of England's number 1, Jordan Pickford, now at Everton, and former Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson, now in the Saudi Pro League. Look to scout England, Scotland due to geographical proximity, but also France due to being partially owned by French investors, and some good young French talent already in the team right now. Your main rivals will of course be Newcastle United, who you'll compete with in the Tyne Weir derby as you aim to disrupt their development and establish yourself as their noisy neighbours, and playing at the deceptively big Stadium of Light, the Mackems fans will be expecting you to continue their upward trajectory into the Premier League and beyond, as you'll be with them as Sunderland till you die. Thank you very much for watching this top 5 championship teams video, guys. Man, it was hard to pick just 5, honestly. Really, I could have used any of the other 19. With that being the case, if you think any of the other clubs would be a great team to use, let me know in the comment section why, as we aim to help people pick their next career mode team starting in the 2nd tier of English football. If you enjoyed the video, then please do leave a like. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for another top 5 teams video on my channel very soon.